and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about pendulum magic. What is pendulum magic? Well, it's a form of divination that involves a pendulum and asking usually a yes or no question. The answers do not derive from any spirit or deity. The answers that you derive when using your pendulum come from something called the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is a term that was coined by Carl Jung, the psychiatrist. And basically, it is a form of your unconscious which is separate from your individual unconscious. And it was one of three conscious levels that we have. We have our conscious, we have our individual unconscious, and our collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is inherited from your ancestors. It is an unconscious knowledge that every person, every member of a species has. They are something that we innately know. When you use a pendulum for magic, you are not tapping into any kind of spirit or other entity, which makes it very appealing for a lot of people. You get your pendulum, you ask it a question, and it gives you the answer, which is very accurate most of the time. So this is a very simple divination. This is the first divination that I ever did, and I started doing it as a young child on the playground, where myself and some other girls would take our necklace and we would basically run it between our fingers, and then we would hang it over our hands and see what sex our baby was going to be. And it was fun to us, and it's still fun to me. I love using my pendulum. So, what is a pendulum? A pendulum is simply a weighted object that hangs from a string and is free to move back and forth, counterclockwise, clockwise, side to side. It has freedom to move. It can be made of basically anything. There are many different pendulums that you can buy online now. Many metaphysical shops have them. You can make them very simply by doing something as common as getting a piece of twine and tying a ring on the end. This is a very effective pendulum, especially if you've been wearing the ring, because it already has your energy. I have this one I wore for a long time. I wore it all the time, and it stayed right against my heart. And if I had a question, I would just take it off and use it. It was that simple. And this one happens to have a place where you can put different color crystals in it, and you can use crystals that associate to your intention. For example, if you're asking questions about love, you might use a rose quartz. If you're asking something a little darker and deeper, you might want some protection, so you would use black tourmaline. Money questions, you would use some jade or what, so on and so forth like that. Now this one I just received. An old friend sent it to me, and it's very pretty. It's clear quartz. It has a silver chain and on the end a pentacle. Now before the first time that you use your pendulum, you're going to want to cleanse it Free it of all past ownership, all negativity. Make it clean and fresh and make it be your own. You can charge it with the energy of the sun, moon, stars, the ancients. And then you can consecrate it in their names as well. Nature, the ancients, from where we derive our collective unconscious. So after you charge, cleanse, consecrate your magical tool, which you should do that with all your magical tools. Next, you are going to program it. You are going to tell it what is yes and what is no. Now, I have seen where people let the pendulum tell them the answer, but I don't do it that way. This is the way I do it, and you are free to do it however you please, whatever works for you. If you like it, I love it. Make sure that your arm is resting on a table so that it's more secure, it's more steady, and you don't accidentally move. So you're going to take your pendulum and you're going to say, pendulum, this means yes. Forward and backward. Yes. This is the yes answer. Next, you're going to stop it completely. And you're going to say, pendulum, this means no. Side to side motion. This is no. Side to side motion. Sometimes when you ask a question, you will receive an ambiguous answer, like a spinning, or this means that you are not concentrating on the question, or there is a problem with the question. For example, did my son win his football game? The answer is neither yes nor no, because it was a tie. That's just I just pulled that out of my head just now. Now we have chosen our pendulum. We have cleansed, consecrated, and charged it. We have programmed it. And now I'm going to use it by asking it some simple question that I know the answer to. I'm going to get it very still. Pendulum, did it rain this morning? And in fact, it did not rain this morning. Pendulum, we're going to ask it a more obscure question. Pendulum, will my business be a success? Starting out kind of slow, but it's saying yes. I wanted to say yes. Yes. Well, that's great to know. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video about pendulum divination, and I hope that everyone tries it. If you don't have a pendulum such as this, get a piece of string and tie your ring around it. I urge you, I compel you to try this form of divination. You will be in awe of how accurate it is and how easy it is. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.